Ethan's boots crunched on the dry, cracked soil of Xyloris, a planet so quiet it made his ears ache. The sun was low, casting long orange shadows over the small settlement in the distance. Dust swirled in the warm wind as he adjusted his pack and sighed. All he wanted was a safe place to rest for the night. That was it. Nothing more. Xyloris had always been a place whispered about in interstellar travel logs, a remote planet with no men, just a small community of women, descendants of explorers who had settled here long ago. Ethan had not expected to be noticed, but as he approached the town, he realized he wasn't an invisible dot at the edge of the settlement. 3 figures appeared. They moved with grace, their elongated limbs and luminous eyes catching the fading light. They were alien, yes, but their curiosity was clear. Ethan froze for a moment, unsure if he should greet them. "Hello," he said cautiously. "I'm just looking for a place to stay. That's all." The tallest of the 3, a woman with silvery blue skin and sharp, intelligent eyes, stepped forward. "You are human," she said. "We have not seen one in many cycles. You must come with us." Ethan hesitated. "I don't want trouble. I just need the rest." The alien smiled faintly, a gesture that felt both kind and commanding. "Rest is possible here, but your presence will be noticed. Come." He followed them through the narrow streets, past buildings made of polished metal and glass, structures that shimmered faintly in the dim light. The town was quiet, almost eerily so, but it had a warm, welcoming feeling. The aliens Liara, Saphira, and Myra, as he would later learn their names, led into a communal lodge. "This will be your room," Liara said, pointing to a small chamber with a bed-like structure and a soft, glowing panel on the wall. "Food and water are provided." Ethan set down his pack. "Thanks. I really just need to sleep." "You will sleep," Saphira said with a playful smile, "but you will also learn about us." Ethan raised an eyebrow. "Learn about you?" Saphira laughed softly, the sound like a musical chime. "Yes, you are the only man in town. Curiosity is natural." He felt a mix of amusement and unease. Being the only man in a town full of alien women was not something he had planned for. Still, exhaustion outweighed his caution. He slept fitfully, the strange noises of the town outside making it impossible to completely relax. When he woke, the alien women were already waiting. "Breakfast," Liara said, pointing to a tray of food that shimmered with colors he had never seen. "Eat, then we will talk." Ethan hesitated but ate. The food was surprisingly good, nourishing in ways he hadn't expected. As he chewed, Mira watched him from the side, her bright green eyes full of curiosity. She seemed shy, almost hesitant to approach, but something in her expression made him feel welcome. After breakfast, the women began to show him the town. They explained that their population was small and that they had relied on advanced technology to manage their daily lives. Robots handled farming and construction, but the machines lacked intuition. That was where humans could help. "You see, Ethan," Liara said, "we have knowledge and skill, but some problems require creativity that our systems cannot provide." He nodded slowly, trying to absorb the strange new world around him. He wasn't sure what kind of problems they met, but he soon found out that as the day progressed, Ethan noticed subtle signs of danger. There were large, shadowy creatures in the distant dunes that seemed to watch the town. The wind sometimes shifted in violent bursts, threatening the thin structures. He mentioned it casually, but the aliens exchanged glances, careful not to alarm him. "You are observant," Saphira said, a hint of admiration in her voice. "Many visitors do not notice. That is, human intuition, perhaps." Ethan shrugged. "Maybe. I've had to pay attention to survive. Guess it comes naturally." The day ended with a meeting in the town's central plaza. The alien women gathered around, explaining their daily routines and customs. They were curious about human life, asking questions about how he survived in deserts, what his people valued, and how he solved problems with limited tools. Ethan answered carefully, not wanting to reveal too much about Earth politics or technology. Still, he could see the fascination in their eyes. Being a human seemed almost magical to them. As the evening approached, he thought about leaving, but something in the air made him pause. It wasn't just curiosity that the aliens had, it was expectation. They wanted him to stay. "You may rest tonight," Myra said softly, "but tomorrow, you will help us." "Help you?" Ethan asked, cautious. "Yes," Leora said. "A storm is coming. Our town needs preparation. You are strong and clever. You will assist." Ethan felt a knot tighten in his stomach. He had only wanted rest, but something about the urgency in their voices told him this was serious. He agreed, not because he wanted adventure, but because he couldn't ignore the need. Night fell over Xyloris, and Ethan lay in the small bed, staring at the glowing ceiling. He thought about how strange his life had become. He had expected a quiet night. Instead, he was in a town of alien women who already had plans for him, plans far beyond anything he had imagined. He wondered if he could handle it. He wondered if he was ready to face the dangers that lurked outside the town's borders. But beneath the worry, he felt something else, a spark of excitement. Perhaps humans really could make a difference, even on a distant planet like this. Outside, the wind picked up, carrying the scent of the desert. Shadows shifted across the dunes, silent watchers in the night. Ethan closed his eyes, knowing sleep would be brief. Tomorrow, the real challenge would begin. And so, the wandering soldier who only wanted a place to sleep found himself caught in the middle of a town's secret struggles, surrounded by alien girls whose plans for him were bigger than he could imagine. Little did he know, his ingenuity, courage, and human instincts would soon be tested, and the fate of Xyloris might rest in his hands. Ethan woke to the distant roar of wind over the desert. The sky was tinged with red and gold, signaling the approaching storm Leora had mentioned. He rubbed his eyes and stretched. Last night, sleep had been shallow, filled with the uneasy knowledge that his rest would be short-lived. Today, the town needed him. Outside his room, Mira was already waiting. "The storm is coming sooner than expected," she said softly. "We need your help." Ethan nodded and followed her to the central plaza. Saphira and Leora were there, along with other women of the town. Together, they formed a quiet but determined circle, pointing out areas that needed reinforcement. Buildings had been designed to withstand moderate winds, but the storm predicted was unlike anything they had encountered. "You will lead the preparation," Leora said. "We can follow your instructions." Ethan swallowed. Leadership had never been his goal. He was just a wanderer, someone who survived by staying alert and thinking fast. But looking at the determined faces around him, he realized there was no turning back. Humans were known for creativity and courage, qualities that might save the town today. He began quickly. "First, we reinforce the central buildings. Use your energy beams and force fields to stabilize the walls. Everyone else helps the weaker structures. Work in teams." The alien girls moved with incredible speed and precision. Saphira floated to the tallest towers, her hands glowing with energy as she activated protective shields. Mira assisted with smaller buildings, her careful touch ensuring nothing was missed. Ethan moved among them, directing tasks, suggesting practical solutions, and keeping morale high. As the storm approached, strange shadows appeared at the edge of town. The alien predators Ethan had noticed before were drawn to the wind, curious and dangerous. He quickly realized that the storm would not be their only challenge. "Predators are coming," he warned. We need traps and barriers. Keep civilians inside. Leora nodded. We have defensive grids, but they will slow them only. Your ideas? Ethan thought fast. Dig small trenches around the perimeter, then use their own momentum against them. They are fast but predictable. Lead them toward energy nets. The women nodded, and the plan was set into motion. Within moments, the town was a hive of coordinated activity. Humans might have needed numbers for strength, but strategy came naturally to Ethan. He guided, adjusted, and adapted, always one step ahead, that the predators approached as the storm hit. Wind whipped through the town, tearing at loose structures. But the traps worked. Some predators fell into shallow trenches, others were guided into nets. The aliens marveled at Ethan's quick thinking, whispering among themselves about the human mind's power. Through the chaos, Ethan noticed Mira struggling with a heavy barrier. He rushed to help, lifting part of the structure and guiding her hands. "We can do this together," he said. She smiled faintly, her eyes bright with trust. Hours passed in a blur of effort. By the time night fell, the storm had passed. Dust settled and the wind died down. Ethan looked around at the town, mostly intact. The buildings still stood, reinforced, and the predators had retreated to the distant dunes. The alien girls gathered around him, tired but smiling. "You saved us," Saphira said simply. "No," Ethan said, shaking his head. "We did this together. I just helped organize." "You did more than that," Leora said. "Your human intuition, your courage, it made the difference. The town would have suffered without you." Ethan felt a warmth in his chest. He had come here only to sleep, to rest. Instead, he had led, protected, and though he hadn't planned it, earned their respect. Over the next few days, life in the town returned to normal. Ethan continued to assist with repairs, improvements, and defense planning. He learned more about their technology, blending his human problem-solving skills with their advanced systems. Together, they built stronger structures, improved defenses, and even began cultivating new food sources. Saphira teased him often, laughing when he suggested simple, practical solutions the aliens had never considered. Myra grew closer, watching him carefully and asking questions about Earth life, while Leora observed quietly, noting the efficiency of human strategies. Ethan realized that humans were more than just strong or clever. They were adaptable, resilient, and inventive in ways that even advanced technology sometimes couldn't match. The alien girls respected him not for being a man, but for what he could do: think quickly, act decisively, and inspire others to work together. One afternoon, while repairing a collapsed water conduit, Ethan noticed the town's energy network flickering. He ran calculations in his mind, combining human intuition with alien engineering concepts. Within minutes, he had stabilized the system. The women watched, impressed. "You are remarkable," Mira said quietly, her usual shyness replaced by admiration. Ethan shrugged, smiling. "I just try to notice things others might miss." The weeks passed. Ethan became an integral part of the town. His presence changed the community, not because he was human alone, but because humans could adapt, lead, and inspire. The alien girls continued to learn from him, while he learned from them, creating a bond built on respect, trust, and collaboration. Then came the final challenge. A massive energy storm, larger than anything predicted, struck Xylaris. Winds tore across the desert, threatening to destroy everything. This time, the aliens knew they could not handle it alone. They looked to Ethan. He took charge, calmly directing preparations. Trenches, barriers, and protective shields were activated. The townspeople followed his instructions without hesitation. The storm hit with a force that shook the planet, but thanks to their combined efforts, the town held. Buildings remained standing, energy systems stayed functional, and no lives were lost. When the storm passed, Ethan stood on a small hill overlooking the town. He breathed deeply, feeling exhaustion and satisfaction mix in equal measure. Around him, the alien girls approached, tired but smiling. "You came for rest," Scifi said, her voice light, "and yet you became our protector." Ethan chuckled softly. "I guess rest isn't always what you get. Sometimes it's something better." Leora stepped forward. "You are not just part of the town now, Ethan. You are part of its future. Your human qualities, courage, ingenuity, adaptability have changed us all. We will never forget this." Myra placed a hand on his arm, shy but sincere. "I am glad you came." Ethan looked at the town he had only just discovered, at the alien women who had plans far beyond his expectations, and felt something he hadn't felt in a long time: belonging. He had arrived seeking only a place to sleep, but he found purpose, friendship, and respect. He had proven that humans could make a difference, even on a distant alien world. And more than that, he had learned that sometimes being human was enough to inspire awe, build trust, and change lives. As the sun set over Xylaris, painting the sky in shades of gold and violet, Ethan stood among his new friends. The desert stretched beyond the town, vast and quiet, but no longer lonely. Together, they had faced danger, worked as one, and discovered something extraordinary: the value of courage, intellect, and humanity in the far reaches of space. And in that quiet, peaceful moment, Ethan realized that the town, and the alien girls who lived there, had bigger plans for him than he could ever have imagined. But for the first time in his life, he was ready to be part of something bigger.